Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreign Farming in the Philippines.
Oh, yung isaw?
Well, Okdot is not here today, and we don't really know why, but we got Tatay and Neri over here. We've got the gate up, and the water, as you can see there, is going out really well. You can even see it going there. It's 2:30, so we've got plenty of time to get this pond drained. And we're going to endeavor to do our very best to get the shrimp out here today. Hopefully, just hopefully, there's a couple 300-400 kilos in this pond. If none of the shrimp have been stolen, there should be about 400 kilos. So anything less than that can only be assumed that they were netted out of here. So we shall see shortly. I would imagine it would take about 3 hours for this to drain. Low tide is at 8:18 tonight. It progressed a little bit later than yesterday. So there's no rush today. It's nice and calm. It's all good. We're hoping for a good harvest, at least enough to be able to restock, reset, everybody get on the same page with guarding things, and we're hoping for the best. All good, Tatay?
What?
All good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canal.
The canal is clear? Good.
Sirhan lang sa dito bukid. Sirhan.
Ilak sa tong buwan.
Lock the board.
You lock the board today.
Ilak kay liso na.
Very hard. Dili maong dili man na maong din ang trabaho tay. Ako na
Eka mo gulo mo tay.
Kan to kay bumo.
Dali kay magison man ka. May kapunga na. Ito rin pahawang ng lumot. Kami nga pagkakulay na dito, no? Magkano tayo kuhaan sa busi tayo ng pagkaan eh.
Adto man sa tanan day ah.
Ito ko dari dia. Ito ko din hari ko sa kakuan. Ito ko din dia sa kakuan. Nah.
All right, well, as you can see, I've had a little problem with the water pushing over the net because we didn't know before. We know now to remove the lamotte from the surface of the water, or else it will definitely push over the net as the water gets down low. So before I get back in, just wanted to show what we've got in here. It's looking like there's a pretty good bio load. There are a lot of shrimp in here still. So off into the water I go, and we're gonna all get on this and get these harvested up. I think I'll trade out with the camera with Marcel. All right, well, right now Tatay and Nerio are trying to skim the lamote off the surface. Most of that flopping around you see right there are tilapia. And Marcel just refuses to come up here and hold Charlie, so he was sleeping, but he's through with that sleeping. Huh, Charlie? Huh, Charlie boy? What you thinking, Charlie? This is not as fun as you thought it would be, huh, Charlie? Not with your mommy out there, huh? What's mommy doing, huh? What's mommy doing?
Mommy is so dirty now, baby.
So next time we know lamote on the surface has to be skimmed off. Anything that's floating in the water, because a good portion of this lamote has, as the water went down, it just settled into the bottom of the pond, but a lot of it did not settle into the bottom of the pond. And what it does is it gets up against those nets and tries to push them over. So, don't know how many tilapia versus shrimp we've got, but it looks like there's a lot of tilapia in there. And from the size of them, they came in when they were fry. They're little tiny guys. I mean, you can't bail, Charlie. I know you want your mama, but you can't have her right now. Mommy, let me get in there and help these guys, and you come watch him.
Put him in his crib.
Put him in his crib?
It's the problem you don't know how to put him.
That's the problem. I don't know how to put him. There's quite a few little shrimp there.
Kami lang, uro ka. Taas. Oh. Pagkuhan ito ko din yan, ako ganon. Ako ganon din yan. Ito rin yan, ito ko na rin. Ito silang. Di, malagbog ko na ito. Malagot mo ko din eh. Ito na lang tagkahoy ba? Kaya madamay, kaya may nalungot yung laom. Ako pa nila, sibutan nila. Sibutan nila, ito dito sa kahon. Kahon gunitan dari.
Alright, so what we're going to do now is separate out these tilapia from the shrimp and leave the shrimp in this net, and then we're going to take them to the river and wash them out because it's just too much like a filthy mess in there. We can't sell shrimp like that. What I've decided to do is save these tilapia, and we'll go put them in the other side. Actually, what I want to do, Tatay, I don't want to take these home. I want to put them in the other side. Yeah. I had originally told them that I wanted to take them to the home, but we'll just put them in the other side. There's a lot of shrimp here. I've got to find a place to put my phone or my camera.
So,
So, this is not the way to do it.
yeah.
We should have had a net on the bottom in front of the gate here, because these little devils have buried themselves in the mud, and so we're basically having to sift them out by hand. And that's what we've been doing for the last 3 hours. They just bury themselves, and so you got to dig through.
There's so many.
And now we're running against the clock because the tide
Tide.
is coming back in.
Yeah.
We needed more help than what we showed up with. I should have said yes to Venetia when she asked if we wanted some help, but Tatay said, no. Me and Nerio.
Did they offer?
Yeah, she offered to help, or have her kids help, or whatever, but Tatay didn't want any help, so. I don't think Tatay had any idea how hard and time consuming this would be. But now we know. We've probably captured and transferred at least 3,000 tilapia fingerlings
To where?
to the small pond. And I got those really quick, in only like 30 minutes, because there were so many.
Kuha ninyo itong sa likod, tay.
Ha?
Ganito.
Oh, mana? Apa itu? Gamay na. Nakuha mo ng isa.
Alright, so I'm taking a little break. Went all the way around that area there. I know you can't see in the dark, but went back up to the walking path with a net and just picking them up off the surface. We're going to get about 3 boxes, I think, maybe 4. 40 kilos or so per box. So between 120 and 160 kilos is my best guess. There were a lot of shrimp that were pilfered out of here, but we lost probably a third into the mud. Right here where they're picking them out. I sat there for an hour and a half picking shrimp out, and now there's 5 people there picking the shrimp out. The good thing is we transferred about 3,000 fingerlings, tilapia fingerlings, to the small pond. That's the only bright spot of all this. Not a great harvest, but more than what there could have been. I think they just couldn't get as many as I had feared just by netting them. Like I'd said previously, if all the shrimp are still in here, the harvest would have been 375 to 400 kilos, and we're going to get about a third of that. So that's telling me that, even if half the shrimp that we got, even if we lost half into the mud, that still would have only been 260 kilos. So about half of them were pilfered. My best guess. So next time, and there definitely will be a next time, we're going to prep for this a little better even before we put the shrimp in. We're going to put a net. I was thinking a few minutes ago we would line the bottom with sacks with the mud sacks all along the front here, and put a net over the top of that and anchor the net in, and so that that's all in place when we restock it next time, so that when we want to harvest, they all go into the net, and we just lift the net out, and there's our shrimp. Just fishing them out through the mud. I mean, the first box was pretty quick because we were able to use the net, but once they get a little desperate, once they get fear, I think instinctively they dive into the mud, or they flop up onto the bank, one or the other. It's like they try to surface or they try to dive, one or the other, because there was a lot of them up on the bank. So about half of them were gone, and we got about half of those that were left, maybe 2/3 of what was left. So the learning curve continues. Not a total loss. We get 140 kilos out of here. We'll just about break even for what it costs to stock it, and all the labor is still a loss. So if we were paying ourselves a wage, it would be a loss. But for the shrimp in, for the money for the shrimp in and the money for the shrimp out, it's a break even, and some lessons learned. Alright, well, we're not done yet. Now we're at home, and the shrimp have to be cleaned because they've got Lamot all over them. Lamot, whatever it is. So they have to be dang near individually cleaned. We're definitely doing this different next time.
Yeah.
Like hire a harvest crew. Put in the nets properly in the beginning.
Yeah. And remove the lamot.
Yeah, and skim off the top of the lamot before we start to drain the pond.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. So learn as you go. All right, well, Marcel went in to take care of Charlie, and so the three of us are still cleaning. What have we been at it about an hour now, Gina?
Yeah.
So the reason we have to clean them is that's what they look like when they're cleaned, and this is what they look like when we pull them out of the container here. So we take them a few at a time, rinse them off, get the lamot and the leaves and everything else off of them, and then over they go. Very nice and clean. It's taken forever. All right. Well, we've got one full box in the freezer, like this. We've got one full box here, and we've got this left here. Yeah, I was thinking we'd use that for these stuff. And that's probably 15 kilos there. So we've got about half what I thought we had in the when we were at the shrimp pond. There was still, once we picked out all the tilapia and all the mud and shells and everything else, we didn't have that much. And I was going off what we had done with the milkfish. The milkfish, you didn't have to, if you filled the milkfish box all the way up, that box there, all the way up, you had 35 kilos. Filled all the way up with shrimp, you only have 30 kilos. So they're not as dense, I guess, as the milkfish were. So I was guessing the weight that we had, kind of based on volume from the milkfish. So we'll get a final tally here shortly. All right, so we got, there's 12 kilos here. We've got 2 boxes with 30 kilos each in them. So we got a grand total of, and this box weighs a kilo. I didn't zero it out first. So there's 11 kilos here. So we've got a grand total of 71 kilos. We got hit quite a bit harder from the pilfering than what I thought. So they got way more than half of them. They got like 2/3, and of what was left, we left 1/3 in the mud. So not great. Back to the drawing board. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.